Alright, welcome class to another lesson of Mr. Lozada. Today I'm gonna show you what is the equilibrium point as well as the demand and the supply curve and how to find the consumer surplus and the producer surplus once we know the equilibrium price. This represents the equilibrium point, and it is the point when the demand and the supply curve met. It divides. This would be the equilibrium price, as it is a point that aligns with the equilibrium point. So, you can see that I've shadowed those two parts. This represents the consumer price, which means how much the consumer is willing to pay for that good, however, it's paying less. And this is the producer surplus, which means that the producer is willing to sell the good or service at a lower price than what it's selling. In an ideal perspective, the consumer price and the producer price are maximized and equal, and therefore the consumer and the producer are getting maximum benefit. Once that's clear, we shall see how to find the equilibrium point when we have a demand function and a supply function. This would be a demand function or a supply function that we will use as an example. So, in order to get the equilibrium point, we should understand that it is the point where the demand and the supply curve met at a single point. Therefore, we shall equalize the demand function and the supply function and find the coordinates of that. Once we have made the equation, we just need to solve for it. That would be our x-coordinate for the equilibrium point. So we have agreed that that was our demand function. Now we just plug 1 where x is. For the 9 we represent our y value. Therefore, the equilibrium point of those demand and supply functions would be at the coordinates 1, 49. Once that's understood, we shall proceed on finding the consumer surplus and the producer surplus. So to get the consumer surplus, we should follow the following formula. That is the formula we should follow in order to get the consumer surplus. Now, we just need to substitute. Alright? Now we just multiply. This is the same as this, but just in another format. That would be easier for us for the next step. With just the integral. And then the final step. Evaluation. 7.33 would be the consumer surplus at the equilibrium point 149. In order to find the producer surplus, we should follow the following formula. We now substitute our supply function into the following formula. We basically follow the same steps as we did to find the consumer surplus. We only change the function. So that would be our producer surplus. During this lesson, we've understood the concepts of demand and supply. We've also seen what was the consumer surplus and the producer surplus. We've seen how to obtain the equilibrium point, as well as once we have the equilibrium point, how to find the producer surplus and the consumer surplus. I hope that was useful information, and good luck on your final exams.